Today, though, what we're going to do is identify your crux tension. Your crux tension. And this is a term that's used in rock climbing often. Whether you climb here in Canada or any in the world, normally you research the area ahead of time. And there's always one or two classic climbs. So you find that climb, and normally there's some local climbers around, and you ask them, okay, I'm going to try this. What's the crux move? All that means is between where I'm standing on the ground and where I want to go, there's a lot of moves I have to make. But there's probably just one or two that are make it or break it. You know, and if you can point it out to me, and now I can just put all my energy, all my focus on that crux move, the rest kind of just take care of themselves. And that phenomenon actually really links well to this idea of managing tensions, because I can tell you, I've put most of my career's energy into this concept, and there's a long list of tensions you're managing right now. You may not know it, but the list is long. And it's not helpful to have a list this long and feel like, oh my gosh, it's overwhelming. How am I going to do this? You don't need to worry about it, because you wouldn't be here if you weren't managing these tensions pretty effectively. But what I will say is that of that long list, I would say, especially when it comes down to, excellence and trying to step things up and, again, go from talking to doing, there's going to be 10 unavoidable tensions. I don't know who you are or where you're from, but I can tell you these matter. So I don't know if you know this, but there are cards on your table, so you can look for those. I'll leave this slide up there. But you can take these. The other thing that I should have mentioned earlier is on the back, there's a link. All of my slides are yours, so you can have a link to all of those after. But for now, this list of 10 is on that. What I want you to do is this. I love actually just the morning, because it already got us thinking about what is that one thing that I really want to not just talk about, but actually do. In that chasm between kind of where I am and where I want to go, what's the one thing that's going to allow me to break through? I would say that when you look at a list like this, there's probably out of these 10, one that you would say, and if I'm going to deliver, if I'm really going to move forward, break through in any way, I've got to manage that tension well. It's not going away, but that's a tension that I've got to get pretty close to breathing. And, so my encouragement is when you look at that list, and what we're going to do, I'm just going to give you a few moments to chat. This will not work well as a table. There's too many of you. It will work very well in partners. And if you have an odd number, one group of three, no problem, but pairs is best. So you might actually right now want to kind of glance to the left and right. Pick the smartest looking person, because they're gonna give you a lot of insights as my session progresses. But once you've found your partner, I want you to, and you're not agreeing on a tension, I want you to just share with the partner. If you don't know the person, certainly talk about, is this kind of linked to work or home? But out of the list of 10, what would you feel right now is your crux tension? And it doesn't mean that you're managing it well or poorly. It just means that, you know what, when I leave these doors, if I'm going to move forward and do well, it's going to come down to me managing that tension well. It is a make it or break it tension right now. Maybe not forever, but right now, this is a critical tension to manage. And Peter, if you were my partner, beyond just listening, I'm going to say, how healthy is it right now? Is it like breathing, or do you feel like it's a bit off? And that's all I kind of need to know for now. And then we'll switch. We're not agreeing on one. Chances are mine's different than yours, but then hear from the other person. Does that work? Go for it. Pick the one.